Hi, I am Tilly.
And how old are you?
I am 11.
And what school do you go to?
Rushcliffe now.
Rushcliffe. Is that a secondary school?
Secondary school.
So what school did you go to?
St Peter's Junior School.
Marvellous. And can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jim. I am 8 years old and I go to St Peter's.
Marvellous. Can you both tell me what coronavirus is?
It's a global pandemic which is spread throughout the world from I think it was somewhere in China, I forgot. It spread extraordinarily quickly. It can be fatal, but rarely is unless you are over the age of 70-ish. And it is starting to die down, but slowly.
Okay. What do you think, Jim?
It is a global pandemic, like my sister said, but it has come from China and it has affected lots of people.
Okay. So do you think it's something scary, or do you feel like it's the kind of thing that just is something out there that you don't have to kind of worry about?
I think it's generally a normal thing. I think it's just normal, really. It's happened.
It's happened.
It's not as we've got modern medicine, even though we haven't found the cure yet. People are surviving it, and it's just another strain of flu, really. Once we found the virus, the virus, the vaccine, it will all be over.
Okay. What do you think, Jim? Does it worry you?
I find it quite scary.
Yeah.
And I hope we will fight the virus. I really do hope that. But I don't know if we'll find it soon or not, because lots of people are still looking for it, and that's what I think of it. I haven't seen anyone with it really, or have seen anyone isolate, but that's all I've seen.
So can I ask you both how you feel about the fact that coronavirus meant that you had to stop going to school?
It didn't really affect me that much because I never really had a large friend group, and all my friends I could keep in contact with, and through the internet. And seeing as I have social media platforms, I could keep contact and keep them updated on what I was doing. So not really, no.
So technology's really helped you guys with
Yeah.
that then, really. What about you, Jim? How did you feel about not being able to go to school?
I find it a bit worrying, because I found it a bit hard homeschooling at the beginning, having to teach myself all those things. But I've been trying to keep up with all my friends on social media as well, and it's really helped me, and I do it normally every day. So yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. We'll come on to the homeschooling in a bit, when hopefully we can talk a bit more about mum and dad and how that's all been. But so Tilly, I just want to ask you, because this has been your last year at primary school, and now you're going up to big school, as it were, to secondary school.
Yeah.
Was that weird, kind of not having chance to finish off at primary before you went up?
I went for the last week.
Yeah.
And so we had our picnic, and I got a little teddy bear which had a Leavers jumper on it, and I got my Leavers jumper. We got some sweets, we got a card, we got our year reports. One thing we didn't get to do was go on our trip we were supposed to go to Whitby for a week. Didn't get to do that, which was a bit of a bummer. But it has been relatively fine. I'm in with all my friends next year. So, no, it's been fine.
So you'll still see all of your friends next year? It's not, okay. So tell me a little bit about homeschooling then. How have you found that? And I guess what I'm asking really is what was it like to start with homeschool?
We started we were given sheets by our teachers, and we had to do a certain thing for an amount of time. So maths for an hour, English for an hour. Then we had our lunch, I think. Then we had reading for half an hour. Then we would do creative stuff for an hour until the day was over. But that dropped eventually because we we're horrible at keeping patterns. So we basically just said, do this for an hour whenever you can, and then you'll have a break for lunch for an hour to watch some TV. Then after 3 o'clock, you can have your devices back.
What about you, Jim? What's it been like for you homeschooling?
Well, it was confusing at the beginning. Then I started to get a bit more of the way to do it. But when we stopped, I felt a bit more happier because I didn't have to get rushed around all the time. And we got some dogs, and that kind of stopped it more. So we were doing other stuff with the dogs, and we still did 3 minutes of reading, but we didn't do too much stuff anymore.
Excellent. So when you say, Jim, that to start with, it was like you'd stop rushing around, do you mean before you stopped going to school you felt like everything was very rushed and busy?
No, I meant like when I got...
When you first were home
Yeah,
for school?
at first.
Yeah. And so it was all quite confusing for you by the
Yeah.
sounds of it. So the $1 million question is, what have your parents been like as teachers?
Horrible.
Horrible.
Why have they been horrible?
Well, my parents, they're not teachers. Well, they were great in a way that they kept routine, and if we asked them nicely enough, they would help us out with the tasks that we needed to do. But the majority of the time they were very busy, and they were stressed because it was a new environment, and our dad still had to go to work because of him working in the police force. So most of the time it was just us and our mum, and she was busy all the time with dial-ins, and sometimes she got a bit snappy, but they were relatively fine.
What do you think, Jim? What were your parents like as teachers?
It was quite strange because teachers all have been training for years, but they have just become teachers for us, and we had to do it by ourselves and read it all by ourselves because they couldn't help us. And they were always busy because they were both key workers, and sometimes when my dad wasn't busy, we could ask him some questions and help him. And that was quite often, but it was still, sometimes we couldn't do it and couldn't ask him questions. So, yeah.
So you found it quite frustrating then in some ways,
Yeah.
sort of having to do it on your own, the two of you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was frustrating, but most of the time it was relatively easy because it was really most just stuff we'd already done, and we just were overdoing it. We're doing it again.
So what's it like? I mean, I'm talking now probably before you got the dogs, because I want to talk about when you got the puppies in a minute. But what's it been like, all of you living under the same roof? Because there was a long time when we couldn't go out, wasn't there?
I was stressed because I don't like being in crowded spaces. That's why I have a small friend group. And being in the same space with the same people, not being able to go out and see my friends and have a slight change in groups was stressful, so I had to have at least an hour or two to myself each day.
Yeah.
In my room, where I would do like drawing or go on my phone and catch up with my friends.
And did you feel like your family understood why you needed to do that?
Yeah, they know I'm an introvert.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Jim? What's it been like all living under the same roof?
It's been quite strange. I haven't found it stressful,
Yeah.
but even though we've all been together, we've also have been quite separated because Dad has always been in the kitchen, and our mum has always been upstairs, and me and my sister have always been in the living room, so haven't really had to do too much stuff. But it was quite strange to have a big difference because we didn't really get a bit of a break time except from when we had our lunch. So we were normally working for most of the day, but at the end we got to really catch up. But it was just quite hard and not being able to talk to anyone really.
So, in the midst of all this, you got 2 new little puppies.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, I had no idea. I think it will have been the 15th of May. We woke up and Dad said, we asked Dad where our mum was because it was the first time she'd gone out in ages. She said, oh, she's gone to work. And so we said, okay, what are we going to do today then? He said, well, I thought after we'd done some reading and some stuff, we'd go for a bike ride because I'd taken the day off and we didn't really have to do anything. So we went for a bike ride. When we got back, our mum showed us out into the back garden because she was home from work. And there was a box and it had dogs in it.
And how was that, Jim?
It was really exciting because actually we all did know that we were getting dogs, but not this year. We were supposed to get them last year.
So we were going to get dogs this year the day before.
But yeah, and what happened was when we got out, there was 2 dogs in the box, and yeah, but the most exciting part was we've been expecting it for about 2 years or so, and our mum was always showing us pictures of baby dogs, and we actually realised the dogs what she was showing us were actually the breeders' dogs what we got them from. So all the time we could have knew we actually were seeing our dogs all the time.
So they fooled you?
Yes, they did fool us.
So what's it been like then, having puppies and having to be everybody in the house, working from home and homeschooling?
It's been quite a big difference because we've normally put ourselves first because we haven't really had anyone to care about and all that kind of stuff. But now we have dogs to care about. It's been quite a big impact, but at the end of the day we're always having a really nice time with them. We only have to do a bit of training and then we can always go on a walk with them, and they've turned out to be one of the best dogs ever.
What about you, Tilly?
Well, as Jim said, they're very well behaved. We're not sure whether that's through our influence or the breed. Mainly the breed, probably. We're not that great an influence. But it's been fun. And we've tried loads of different things to train them. We've tried private trainer, we've tried online courses, we tried YouTube. It's definitely been fun. I'm teaching Scout how to skateboard.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we teach them roly-poly, didn't we?
Yeah.
You taught them roly-poly?
Yeah.
So you've been teaching them some really cool tricks then, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've gone through some of the best dog trainers.
Yeah.
So Zach George sometimes, and also Absolute Dog trainer, and we still look at some of them, and we keep on finding new ones what we really like.
Do you think perhaps that having the new puppies has stopped you getting bored of being all at home together?
Exactly. Yes.
Yes. The great thing about them is that when you wake up in the morning, they're still a bit dozy, so you've got time to have your breakfast, do whatever you need to do, have a shower, stuff like that. Then you go on a walk. Then they'll have a nap for about an hour and a half, and you'll have your lunch at that time. And then you'll do training for the rest of the day until 3:30. You've also got to get your reading in during that time. And then basically they're calmer after that, and you can just flop with them.
Yeah. We normally let them in and have a hug with us.
They like the trampoline too, don't they?
Yeah, they really do.
You two like the trampoline. I see that you've slept on it a few times.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is that? That looks pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah, it was quite
We
cool.
did. My mummy did it this weekend.
And
That was the first time I'd ever done it,
Um,
and it rained.
What were you going to say, Jim?
and I did it about a year ago, and I did it with my mum again, but my dad has never wanted to do it.
Your dad's a sensible one, I think.
Yes.
So it sounds like the dogs have been a really good thing for everybody then.
Yeah.
And really good timing, really. So you're going on holiday this weekend, aren't you?
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully, yes.
Well, definitely yes.
Why do you say hopefully, Jim?
Well, we're still a bit scared that the government says no
Yeah.
or anything.
So do you think that might stop you going?
So what they did say is we're expecting to go to France. So they say France only, and nowhere else. We're expecting to go to Ireland for about 2 weeks or so, and we'll also go to Leeds at the very beginning. So
Well, we're finding out either today or tomorrow whether we'll be going to France or not. Hopefully it's a yes, but if not, we're planning on going on a bit of a road trip around Britain.
Oh, cool.
We're
So
gonna
there's a
go-
good master plan just in case.
We're gonna go spend 4 days at our grandparents' house. They're already in France, but we have the key to their house. Then we're gonna go to Scotland. Then we're gonna go to Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And then come back.
How do you feel about that? That sounds like a cool adventure.
well, we've never been to really anywhere else. Well, because last year we were going to go to Norfolk. No, it was this year.
This year we're gonna go to
Yeah,
Wales
we were going to go to Wales, but that got cancelled.
because of COVID.
And we've always had Irish blood in us, and we've always been wanting to go to Ireland and live there for a little while. So this is quite a big adventure and an opportunity to us. And our dogs are from Scotland. They were bred from Scotland.
The breeds.
Yeah.
So if you go for a road trip in this country, does that mean you get to take the dogs with
No,
you?
because they don't have a passport.
Oh. It's a bit of a shame, but we'll send them lots of pictures, and our gran will be looking after them when we're at France or anywhere else. So,
Will you miss them?
yeah,
Yes.
so I'm gonna FaceTime them like every single day.
If you have Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Marvellous. So are you worried about going away, or do you think it's going to be nice to see somewhere different?
It will be fun.
Yeah.
Well, as we said, we're not really sure if we're going to France or not. Hopefully it's yes.
Yes.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to tell me about coronavirus and anything else that's happened? Any funny stories in the family or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I remember my birthday. It was quite hard because there weren't many people there, and we had a bit of a virtual birthday with all my friends, but I had some people come over, like only 2,
Yeah, the Elsie.
and Holly, but yeah, I only had really 2 people, and I had a bit of a crazy birthday, and I had like a list written down to do everything what I want, but we couldn't really do that much stuff, and it was quite disappointing. I did have a virtual birthday at the end, but it was only with one of my best friends. So yeah.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because that does sound like it was a disappointing one for you. But hopefully next year will be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Always got to look on the bright side, eh, Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about you? Any funny stories, Tilly?
Well, I got it was my 11th birthday a couple of months ago. I got to spend my birthday with my whole friend group, 2 people. We went down to Rushcliffe Park, this park. We were in the wood over there somewhere. Over there. And they met my dogs, and it was fun, and we got lost in the woods.
Yeah.
We couldn't find our way out, and we had to use our dogs as sniffer dogs, even though they'd never done that before. Yeah, and that was pretty fun.
So you kind of had a bit more of the sort of birthday that you wanted,
Yeah.
I guess, by the sounds of it.
I've never really had big birthdays.
Whereas you're more of a big birthday man, are you,
Yes.
Jim? Yes, brilliant. So just finally then, if there's nothing else that you wanted to say, can I ask you both if you had a message for your mum and dad about anything, what would you say, Tilly?
Learn to be a better teacher.
What about you, Jim?
Go to college again and learn to be a better teacher.
Is there anything else you want to say, guys? You can say anything you like.
Banana.
I like that. You see, banana is fine. Pineapple.
Pineapple on pizza is good.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Pineapple on
It
pizza is
the
good.
best.
It is the best. Jim, can I ask you, you know you were quite nervous about this.
Yes.
Has it been as scary as you thought it would be?
No,
It's just been a nice chat, hasn't it?
I haven't really been filmed for a little while.
Have you not?
No.
So this is good practice for you
Yes,
then?
definitely.
Fabulous. So are you both, I'm just going to finish off by asking, are you both excited to get back to school in September?
Yes.
Sort of.
I'm excited so I can see all my friends.
Only reason I'm excited is because it's new school and I get a new uniform.
Okay.
And she also probably gets sweets.
Yes.
So a new school then, Tilly, what does that mean to you in terms of starting a new school?
New uniform. Not really a new place because I've been there a lot. Because I took swimming lessons there. And we went round tour there a lot. Not really a new friend group because I like sticking to my original friend group of 2 people who I've known for 6 to 8 years. New teachers, sort of, but it'll just be the same tutor over and over again.
It's quite exciting to have a fresh start when you go to a new school, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a bit like starting a new job. It's almost like you can kind of reinvent yourself a little bit and be whoever you want to be, which is
Yes.
really cool.
Yes.
Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is my 2nd school.
The only problem what I'm scared about is I may get my bum kicked away.
Oh, don't worry, I'll come and break your neck hurts.
How do you feel about going back to school and sort of social distancing? How do you think that's going to affect you?
Not really much because, well, as I said, it is 3 schools from 3 junior primary schools combined into one, but it's like 15 groups. So in total, there will be like 20 kids in each group, and 2 of them will be my friends.
So you know what social distancing is?
Yes.
Where you've kind of got to stay.
Meter.
Yeah, a meter
About the
plus,
width of
isn't
this
it?
bend,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you feel about social distancing, Jim?
I feel like I'm still gonna try to social distance at my school. I know it'll be quite difficult, but hopefully in a couple more months, like maybe 2 months or so, at school, it'll start to die down a bit more, and maybe it won't be 1 meter anymore, and hopefully they'll find for a cure then. So that kind of stuff.
Excellent. Well, thank you both very, very much for
It's
agreeing
okay.
to be interviewed. I'm not sure you had a choice. Did your mum ask you or tell you?
She told
She
us.
told us a
last-
day before.
Yeah, she told us last night.
I had no idea.
Do you think she did that though because she thought you might get scared and nervous?
Yes.
So I feel like if she told me earlier,
It would have been fine. So note to mummy, next time tell them.
Yeah, I remember last night I was trapped in my head when I was trying to get to bed. All I was thinking about was all the answers to all this.
Aww. Has it been easier than you thought it would be?
It is
a lot.
really a lot.
Did you think it was going to be like a test?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, really, it's just been a nice chat, hasn't it, about how you feel about things? Because what I'm doing with this project is I am just talking to lots and lots of different people and asking them to tell me about what their life has been like during lockdown.
Mum told us on the way.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm boring you.
It's fine.
Brilliant. Okay, give me the thumbs up, guys. Marvellous.